morning, everybody. In the last video, you saw me connect the two tanks up together to level the water, or get the water level the same. I mentioned that that tank is higher than this tank. This bottom here at the bottom, that bottom whatever ring is about 200 gallon level. This tank has about 200 more gallons than that tank just because of the levels. I'm not worried about that. If it gets down to the point of the last 200 gallons, then I'll probably get a delivery. Anyway, that's not what I'm talking about today. How to decide how much water do I have? I mean, the tanks are very thick plastic. You can't really see like you would in a white plastic tank where you could actually see the water level. That's what I dealt with back at the Camp Wise back in Ohio, and there's just no way for me to visually see this. So how do I check the water? Well, a couple different ways. You can just put your hand on the tank. I'm about 10 o'clock in the morning, so it hasn't really started getting hot yet. But last night it was in the upper 60s. So the water in the tank is cooler than the part of the tank that's got air in it. So I can just run my hand down and feel that right here, the water, or the tank is cooler to the touch than up here. And that's at the 1,000 gallon level. So there's 1,000 gallons in this tank, which means there's about 800 in that one. All right, so, but that's, that means I got to come over here, and sometimes the air temperature is close to the, everything. It's hard to tell. Another way to do this is thump it, and I'll bring you closer. So you can hear that sound. Okay, visually, I can climb up this ladder and open up the top and look in the tank. But that, you're looking like trying to figure it out and say, okay, you count the rings down, and what ring are we near? Got to do that. So I'm gonna take you up there. So all that got me thinking. Well, let me bring you closer, and you can hear what I'm hearing. Okay, so hopefully you'll be able to hear this. This is what it sounds like when it's just air. Hear the difference? Solider sound for the water. Like I said, but for those who have met me in person know that I'm mostly deaf. If I have my hearing aids in, I'm much better. If I'm just by myself, I can hear me fine. So I can hear this, but it's not always a really good indicator. Now, the other possibility is climb up here. So the way this is, it's got a little opening. This one also has vents built into it. Or open up this big one. And I can feel the heat coming up out of here. So evaporation is another consideration for this, but if we look down inside, you can see the water. It's dark. Bring a flashlight and count the rings. That's not a real easy method. Not a real easy method for me to check the water levels. I want to make sure that's on tight because we left one loose and we do get some pretty intense dust devils, and one of them made off with one of these tops, so not cool. So, didn't touch on why do I want to check the water levels or make it an easy way to do it. Eventually there'll be an overflow. Hey, tanks are full or they're not full. Well, if they're getting low, I want to know so I can order a delivery. The guy around here, I can get 1,500 gallons for 150 bucks, which is really cheap. Sounds like the helicopter guys out today. Well, last night we got a rain. Got a monsoon. I was just on the edge of it. I didn't really get really heavy rain. I keep waiting for one of those to hit right here. But it'd be nice to say, okay, I've got this much certain amount of water in here. Rain's coming in. How much water am I gaining off the roof? I mean, mathematically, I know if I had 6 inches of rain hitting the roof, I should be getting enough to fill up both of these tanks from empty right to overflowing. Would I get 6 inches in one rainstorm? I don't know. I've seen some pretty nasty monsoons out here where we had one the other day, yesterday, it was right over there, and it was just this solid black column of rain coming down. Blue sky all around. This one thunderstorm was literally like somebody had opened a faucet. So maybe I'm waiting for one of those. I want to see what one of those is like. But it got me thinking. There's no easy way. Thump it, feel it, climb up and look in it. There's got to be an easier way. And I've always not just thought outside the box, but I just throw the box away. Let's think just random ideas. Try to come up with stuff. Brainstorm inside of the one brain. Then I thought about the 40 to 80 gallon or 80 cup coffee makers that I've seen. You know, the big industrial tanks, and how do they keep track of, well, without looking in it all the time? And that gave me an idea. How I can do this and make it at a glance I could tell how much water is in here. So let's go inside the shop and I'll show you my idea. So here's my idea. Those big coffee makers have a sight tube, which is basically a long, clear tube, plastic or glass, usually glass, and it's enclosed because of the heat from coffee inside a metal thing with just a cutout. I don't need that part, but marked off how many cups are in there, so you can get an idea of how much coffee you have left. Okay, so sight tube. How are you going to do a sight tube on a big tank like that? First, I thought of, no, I don't need this. I thought of using clear vinyl tubing. You know, the biggest stuff, when it comes shipped on a roll, it tends to be flat. It doesn't want to stay nice and round. Clear water, clear tube, a little hard to see. So I did find these with the help of the guys at Ace Hardware. Helpful hardware, man. This is a thing for kids, and it's basically how to teach your kids how to play beer pong with shots. Because it does say Red Junior Activity Pack, and ages 6 and up. So hey, your 6-year-old, want to get them playing beer pong early. So my thought was, hey, I need a tube that one of these, a regular ping pong ball is pretty big, but one of these would be fine. I'd like it if it was bright color, but hey, this will work. against that gray or that brown tank or tan tank. So I need a tube for it. Well, I found a reference online to clear PVC. It's got a little bluish tint to it. It will get a little bluer from UV. Where I'm going to put it, it'll be protected from the sun for the most part. Nobody, Home Depot, Lowe's, Ace, people have all heard of it. Most of them say we don't have it in our warehouse, it's on back order, whatever. Amazon. I can buy up to an 8-foot length. My tank is 10 feet tall, so I bought another 2-foot length and a connector. And I think because there's no pressure behind it, especially way up here, the last foot, I don't think I need to glue this end. All right, so this is going to be my sight tube. We'll put that ping pong ball inside of it. We'll let the water fill to the right level. So there's that. Now I got to connect it up to the tank. So, oops, probably the easiest way is to got a union to be at the bottom here with a bushing. It'll go to 3/4 inch and then 3/4 inch pipe thread to hose thread. Then take a 4-foot long braided washing machine hose, and I can attach that to the spigot that I'd put on there. That way I can turn it on, turn it off. Out here in the desert, it's dry. We went all winter with like 10% humidity, and so the water in this tube will evaporate over time. If I'm gonna lose a little bit that way. What I don't have, and I need to pick up, is something to cap it. You gotta think, the birds around here like to perch on stuff. I don't need a bird perching up on top of my water system and pooping down the chute. So I will probably, next time I go to town, I'll get the proper size. This one's too big. Get a T, and I can put some screening in here, keep the bugs from going in, or I could stick in little screen down here, maybe some cloth, some steel wool, something that water or air can go through, but it keeps the animals out. I probably will screen it off up here. But that'll be on the top. Imagine this is the clear tube. Be on the top like that. It'll let air flow out or back in, but we'll keep the bugs and birds out. So now I got to glue all this up, and then we'll go out and we'll work on that part of things. This is a little pipe thread seal. I really think it works better than the Teflon tape in many instances. Get a nice coating on there. I mean, I've used Teflon tape for years, but I found, especially metal to plastic, this stuff works a lot better. Especially if you're doing something like a gas line, which wouldn't be metal to plastic, but doing a gas line, you really want to use something like the pipe thread seal, because Teflon tape is not good for that. All right, so and it says that this, you can use this is schedule 40 or schedule 80, and so you can use the same glues as you would use. It's PVC. It's just a different formula that until the last week or so I didn't even know existed. There we go. All right, let's go back out back. Now, obviously, I can't just lean this pipe up against here. There's nothing to tie it to the top, except for way over there. And I want it near these gallon scale here. So I've got a 10-foot piece of rebar. I'm drive down into the ground, and we will zip tie the actual tube to this, and we should be good. What I might do, because there's a hole over there and a hole over there, although this, eventually I'll have an overflow pipe here that I can attach things to. But I may get a piece of rope out and just tie this back if it looks like it needs to. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to get a piece of rope. Yeah, I'm gonna get some rope. I'm gonna tie this from there to there. Or maybe. Yeah, rebar is a little flimsy, so I am going to get a piece of paracord and tie it up so that it's nice and sturdy. Like I said, eventually there'll be a overflow pipe that I can attach it to. I'll be right back. Okay, let's get the tube up here. I'm not real concerned about it sitting down on the ground. It's sitting on that braided cable. Let's see. That's about halfway. And once more up here at the top. Now, tank goes to here. I got the pipe up much higher. So actually, I could probably take this top piece off, and I may at some point, because this is about level with the middle of the overflow. So once I get an overflow in there, I mean, it's obviously, it's not going to fill higher than that. So I could probably get away with 8 foot. I was measuring up to here to 9 foot. So let me just take this off right now. Then I'll leave it on. So while I'm up here, there's a little ping pong ball from our junior Elkie that was all the way down the bottom. And now I gotta attach the hose down here to the bottom of it. Let's bring you over. Assuming I didn't screw up on the gluing or whatever, we'll turn this valve on. The water should start flowing into there. There we go. And that's going to rise up to the level of the water in the tank. And right about where I said it was by feel. So we're just shy of 1,000 gallons. It's sort of nice having these down here, and it goes all the way up to where it just starts to curve is 2,500 gallons. So there we go. A real easy way to tell how much water's in these tanks without all that thumping and feeling and temperature variance. I can just see that, and it still leaves me with a few more balls if I want to start playing junior beer pong. I doubt it. All right, so that's today's quick project before it gets out of the shade much. And other than an overflow tube on this, and this system and the rain catchment system is done. Still got a lot of ways to go as far as a water system for the place, but this is a real good start. All right, so I'll see you on the next one. Bye, my friends.